Alright, this is part 2 of LA Fairplex. This one I toured around downtown Fairplex already, so now I'm just gonna move to another place to look around here. Okay, apparently there are some few high schoolers or some other people coming to this area here, so just gonna move around a lot. Okay, this place has too much copyright music here, so I'm getting out of here. Okay, there are some Ford vehicles that they have, and they're just introducing some new electric vehicles here. I'll have to try out some foods later on, but these are some of the classical vehicle shows that they have. Looks like they're lowriders. Take a look at all these lowriders so far. These are pretty amazing, and I absolutely love them so much. And despite all that background music, it's just basically all the lowrider stuff. There's even more lowriders across this place here. Just gonna have to film throughout the whole area, of course. Yeah, that's basically the maximum length I can go to. But this one right there, there's an admission that you can pay $5 to get into the museum itself. Okay, there's another art center that also is open as of now, but just gonna see some brief moments only. Alright, just not as much here. These are just some brief artworks that they published inside this museum so far. This place feels pretty historic here. All these artworks inside this area, of course, but just gonna have to be out for now. I'm just gonna simply head out. Done in the museum here, but I'm just gonna look outside of this section, but I'm just gonna head straight to the hill, of course. I'll come back to this area later. This is called the hill, is where I last been to last year, but hopefully there should be some few activities to do around here as of now. Yes, pretty excessive walk here because I'm just touring around so much around this place. Unfortunately, there are no scheduled events in the middle of the pond here. Just gonna proceed. This is gonna be a pretty long walk to get up there, but I'll have to see if I can make it here. Okay, some time has passed by here. Yeah, just tired of walking so much already. But anyways, I'm just at the top section of this hill here. Just no activities to begin with. Just gonna have to look around. Unfortunately, there's no decorations where it used to be there last year, but I'm just gonna simply roam around for a little bit more. Let's see what they have. Okay, just gonna explore around this hill section a lot more, and there's some trees I've never seen before. Something fun to play around with here. Just climb up this tree all the way up there, and here are some other tools that they have. Mostly cutting some lumber. Recycle all the plastics here. It is always best to keep the public clean. Don't want to ruin the whole environment, otherwise it's going to be disastrous around this place. Look at this camp here. Never seen something like this before, which is a lot to look around more. Alright, just gonna see what to look for, even though this is just pretty complex to look around this section here. These are some few areas that I've never seen before. Mostly all of them. At this section here, this truck right there is what I've already seen here multiple times, like last year. This is a mystery here. Never seen this area. That takes me to up there. Okay, this is a lot to explore around here. It's just a bit too hot to walk around, but here's all the rest is what they look like. Okay, never seen that before. This is America's Great Outdoors is what it's called. Oh, actually I recognize this place here. I think I know what that is here. I don't visit here that often, just not as much, but this is the same place that I remember going into. Okay, the only difficult part is that the walking is very tedious to get in and out. I believe this is the same lookout tower that I've been to before, so just gonna step in. Okay, everything is basically the same here. Just the only drastic difference is this vehicle that's just out there, of course. Just standing on the lookout tower. The entire preview of what the whole thing looks like here, just a little difficult. This one is a bit too dangerous. Really don't want to walk over there. Okay, so just some brief demonstration that some of the crews showed me. Just some firefighter tools that can spot some fires from distance away. That's what they said. Just don't have a clear explanation on that. Now to carefully walk downstairs. Now that I arrived at this place here, there's not that many people around here. It's kind of weird. Oh, they got some animals here. Looks more like small horses. Yeah, this is what the sign says. Wild horses and burros forever is what the entire thing has. So that's what it looks like. Okay, I guess this is my first time cleaning a bit. Just not too much. I'm just gonna do it briefly. All right, hope that feels a little comfortable. Just only a brief demonstration. The same thing are all the cross-cut saws and other handles. It does require like 2 people to cut it. It takes a while. Just gonna be prepared.
So you're going to need, when you put your bag down over here.
Oh yeah, that's the seat's better.
You're going to need to grab a pair of gloves.
More comfortable gloves.
And you've got eye protection already.
I want to add an extra layer just in case. As long as this thing can. Extra layer, fine.
Good for you, good for me. And now we're going to go this way.
Yeah.
You'd have to go with it. I'm going to set the saw. Oh, need help here? Yeah, I think we do. All right. Actually, you're the sawyer. You're the man. Okay, here, let me just get a couple cuts on here because we're going right past it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good enough.
All right.
Okay, dominant hand on top, the other hand on the bottom.
Right.
Keep stance like this, only pushing.
Yeah.
And only pull when it's your turn.
Yeah. All right.
There you go.
Oh.
All right.
There we go.
Good one. Very good. All right. Good job.
Yeah.
How are your arms feeling? Pumped?
Yeah, a bit pumped.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's how to cut wood.
All right. Thank you. If you could wait outside, you can
Grab your stuff, and just so that way we're away from the flames, we can wait and watch from the corner right there.
Yeah. Okay. Guess my arm just died out. Look at this. It's gonna be a best souvenir. Except carrying this may require me to get waxed. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. This is what it looks like, except slightly blurry. I mean, this is a bit partially blurry, but that's now my souvenir that I'm gonna keep at home. Okay, this is the general land office of the interior, and this is what the sign looks like, of course.
Oh, it has the little knots there.
Yeah, that's pretty unique.
I want to make sure that it's cool so it doesn't stick onto the plastic. Oh, I just love it. Don't you like the way it smells?
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Awesome.
Okay, so you have a little bag and you could even slip it in, like in your little strand here.
Oh yeah,
and that way you don't, it frees up your hand.
Yeah, I typically do that every time.
Yeah.
So
anyways, we just tell the story of how the public lands came to be. Who's the public?
Is it public?
We are. We all are.
Oh,
the
okay.
public lands belong to us.
That's amazing.
Okay. Yeah. So this is a surveyor's chain. This is the primary tool that surveyors use to measure the country.
Okay.
These chains measure 66 feet long, so in order to map out just 1 mile, surveyors had to extend the chain 80 times.
That's a lot.
And you know what? Look at this. Through deserts, swamps, mountains, through snow, surveyors with their mules and their chains, they mapped out the whole country, measuring everything. Without surveyors doing that, the reason this is important is because everybody wants to know where their property boundaries are, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they would go around measuring, mapping things out. Like they didn't have the brass cap and the pole technology, so they made stacks and they marked the rocks. Now they go and they remonument with the pole and cap. Nature doesn't do that. 1/4, that's a 1/4 mile. After they measured quarter mile, half a mile. If you see a CC on a rock, it's a closing corner, that's 1 mile,
Yeah.
right? Nature doesn't do that. Those were witness mounts that they would make to show people who would come back, okay, this is where the corner is, this is where the mile ends, this is what, this is how they did it. Isn't it remarkable?
Yeah.
With their mules and their chains, they mapped out
Is what it
the
is
land.
today.
And with GPS, they've remeasured it, and surveyors were only about 7 miles off all the land they measured.
Oh, yeah.
Now, why is this important? Because in the original United States, 13 colonies, everything east of the Mississippi, right?
Yes.
With the purchase of Louisiana from France in 1803, the country doubled in size. That's when Congress decided they needed an agency to handle everything land related, and they founded the General Land Office of the United States of America. Eventually, through the years, it became the Bureau of Land Management. But it started out General Land Office. The government, through the General Land Office, hired men like Lewis and Clark, surveyors, expeditioners, people to go out and map out everything as they went around, reporting back to the government, where do you have salt licks or rivers, mines, measuring the land and giving those maps back to the government. Why? The government not only needed to know what they had acquired, but they also wanted to, at this point, the government, the country was money poor, but land rich. So they started paying soldiers that had fought the wars with land. Without surveyors measuring the land, nobody knows where their property boundaries are. So that's why surveying was important. The government couldn't just say, well, go build a house somewhere and that's yours. They knew what land they were getting. It was recorded, it's called patented, and that land was theirs. Now, not only did soldiers get free land as a payment to their service, it wasn't free for them. Government implemented homesteading, which meant that people who wanted to become landowners could go to a general land office and apply for land that had been mapped out by surveyors, and they would get 160 acres. That's a quarter of a square mile.
It's a lot.
That's a lot of land.
Yeah.
And people had to go and get the land that was given to them. They had to improve it for 5 years. Build a permanent structure. Don't just pitch a tent or a covered wagon. You had to build something permanent and farm the land, crops, whatever, ranch. But you had to improve that land. After 5 years of proving that you went and did the work, you go back to the General Land Office and you get a deed saying that land is yours free and clear. When was the last time anybody got 160 acres free in the United States?
I kind of don't remember as much. It's hard to answer. Yeah.
1976.
1976.
Under special provisions, the government kept homesteading going until 1986. 160 acres free until 1986.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I have kids older than that, Alaska was the last place they gave out 160 acres until 1986.
Yeah.
But the reason the story is important is because when Congress said no more homesteading, they made all the remaining federal lands public lands. Who's the public?
Public.
We are.
We.
All of us. United States citizens.
Land of the free.
Some people think that only white people could get free land. Look at the beautiful poster I have on the wall in the back there. Freed slaves.
Oh.
Women. We couldn't even vote back then. But a lot of women made their fortune in land under homesteading. All you had to do was roll up your sleeves and work hard. There were a lot of women who were widows. They were the head of their household. They became landowners by working those 160 acres. Pretty impressive, huh?
Yeah.
Now, when Congress abolished homesteading and said no more free land, they made all the remaining lands public lands. And just to put it in perspective for you, this is a map of California.
Yeah.
Everything in color in here. Your blue, green, yellow, pink, purple, everything in color are public lands.
Okay.
They belong to you, they belong to me. We can't build on them because we're supposed to preserve them. And that's why I'm here. I want people to develop a sense of ownership and pride in the land and maybe become better stewards and take care of it and protect it and preserve it for us, for ourselves, for our children, for their children, for future generations. The blues and greens are your national parks, national wildlife refuges, or forests. They're managed by U.S. Forest Service, you know, the Corps of Engineers. That's why they're in different colors, because they represent the different agencies that manage your public lands. Yellow, public lands managed by the Bureau of Land Management, which was the General Land Office. In 1946, the General Land Office became the Bureau of Land Management. So this is the precursor agency of the BLM. Your pinks, military bases. Who does the military serve? All of us.
Yeah.
Just don't go there because they might shoot you. No, I'm just kidding.
It's okay.
They'll shoot us in school or on our home. Anyway, even if we can't access our public lands, they're benefiting us as a public. Maybe you can camp free on many BLM lands. Maybe you can't even go in there. Why? Maybe they're harvesting wind or solar power or mining. They're still benefiting us as a public. Okay? This is just California. The entire United States public lands belong to you. They belong to me. People think that I work for the BLM or something. I'm a retired hospice nurse. I did hospice 29 years out of my 40-year career. I raised 4 kids. I couldn't take them to Disneyland. We went hiking, we went camping, we went to volunteer and rebuild or to replant trees after a major forest fire. That's what we did. And so I'm still volunteering. My kids are all adults. They all still volunteer for different things, you know. So that's why I do it. I want people to learn. I do give people things. Do you have a backpack on you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Okay. If you want, I will give you a packet. In this packet, I have these things. I'll show you.
Yeah.
I have a timeline from 1770 through 2017. It's a little history in a nutshell. I have this booklet, America's Public Lands, Your Origin, History, and Future of Your Public Lands. Pretty cool little pictures, you see, and all the way through the railroad. You like history? I'll give you this. These 2 brochure and pamphlet, look, it's mostly pictures. But this brochure and this little pamphlet talk about the National Landscape Conservation System. It's a plan that the Bureau of Land Management came up with, 15-year strategy that from 2010 through 2025 to conserve and preserve your public lands, the landscape. Hold this for me, please. Sure that. They partnered with National Geographic and made this beautiful map, you know, which I will give you. All these, the majority of your public lands are in the western United States. There are all the way to back east. Again, this is just California.
Yep.
But the majority of the public lands are concentrated in the western states. This is what the BLM was doing in these different areas. These are some of the things that they were doing. You like the map? Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Y en el reverso está en español para que practiques tu español.
Oh.
You can practice your Spanish. It's in Spanish on the other side.
All right, cool.
So all these things I have in that packet. Would you like it?
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go.
So everything comes with it. Oh, I see.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
I just put it in a packet so that I keep these here so I can show people what's in there.
Right.
But that's it, and there's your little biscuit, which you could probably put in there or attach whatever you want to do.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for the entire tour.
Of course, you're welcome.
Right.
Thank you for your time.
No problem.
Whenever you want to be the coolest person in America's great outdoors, come here.
Yeah.
I'm the coolest person. I have AC.
Awesome. All right.
Okay.
All right. Enjoy.
You too. Take
All right.
good care.
Okay, I'm just gonna look around more. Make a free environmental button. I can just pick anything that I like. I think I'm good for now, but just gonna look around more. Okay, just gonna see what else to find here. There's some few paths to look around inside the hill. So basically, these are all what they have so far. It's just basically a pretty small path that I have no idea where I'm absolutely going so far. But yeah. Alright, that's all to it. They got the fans here. Just cooling sprays that they have. The reptiles returns back again for LA Fairplex. Just some very brief demonstrations around these places so far. Just looking around only. Okay, yeah, just almost there. The hill is just almost complete, even though I have not explored everything as much. But This fire danger is very high here. Okay, yeah, that's just the last part of it. It's just some few historic items that they have so far. And the same thing I remembered seeing from that last year. They got some historic items here is what they have so far. And basically all of that.
Sand up in these ridges here.
These ridges?
Yes.
Okay.
Scoop up some sand. And so what these ridges are going to do is, since the gold's heavier than the sand, it's going to trap them in these ridges. So you just want to shake out the sand in the water, little by little. Get some more water in.
Oh man, this is...
Yeah, it takes a minute, but once you get towards the end, you'll start to see them kind of come up. And you'll start to see something like this here.
Something like that?
Yeah, like little nuggets like that.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. It's gonna trap gold here once you start shaking out the sand in the water. Usually the slower you go, the more stays back. You want to try it? Yeah. For the sake of the camp.
You want to go? You want to show these? See, you did pretty good.
Yeah. It's a few pieces of gold here.
Yeah, see, we're very patient. You know.
Yeah.
So if you can put that back, and I'll give you this.
All right. Oh, thank you. All right. That's a piece of gold nugget. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you too. Souvenir item that's just a piece of gold nugget. Okay, I believe that's basically it for the hill here, and I'm just gonna simply end this part for the second one. If you guys do enjoy my content, please consider following me on other social media platforms in my about page. This is VlogWithAvroTF. Stay tuned for the third part.